The price of pride. In the heart of Nigeria, within a bustling Hausa village, there lived a young woman named Amina. Amina was the only daughter of a well-respected couple. Her father, a wealthy merchant, and her mother, a skilled artisan, had given Amina everything a girl could want. She was known throughout the village for her beauty, her dark, radiant skin that gleamed in the sun, her almond-shaped eyes that sparkled with mischief, and her long, flowing hair that cascaded down her back. Many young men had tried to win her heart, but Amina had little interest in them. Amina was lazy and proud, a combination that made her stand out in her community. Despite her family's wealth and the comforts that came with it, Amina preferred to spend her days lounging around, chatting with her friends, and basking in the attention that her beauty brought her. She was not one to lift a finger when it came to helping with the household chores or learning the ways of her parents' business. Instead, she believed that her beauty alone would be enough to secure a prosperous future. Her friends, Fatima and Zainab, were different. They were hardworking, respectful, and understanding. While Amina spent her days idly chatting about the perfect man, they were building their lives with men who valued them for more than just their appearances. They loved their husbands, raised families, and found joy in their responsibilities. They would often advise Amina, urging her to take her future seriously. Amina, Fatima would say, "You are beautiful, but beauty fades. You must learn to value more than your looks. If you want a lasting relationship, you have to work for it." Zainab would add, "Men respect women who are hardworking and humble. No one wants to marry someone who only sits and waits for a man to provide everything for her." But Amina would laugh them off. "What are you two talking about?" She'd respond dismissively, "I'm waiting for a rich, handsome man who will take care of me. I don't need to do anything but look pretty." Her friends would sigh, knowing there was little they could do to change Amina's mindset. Despite their warnings, Amina continued her search for the perfect man. She dreamed of a life where she would be pampered, admired, and never have to lift a finger. Her pride kept her from considering any of the men who proposed to her. None were good enough in her eyes. They were either too poor, too old, or not handsome enough to meet her standards. Years passed. Fatima and Zainab got married and had children. Amina, now in her early 30s, still insisted that she would wait for the perfect man. As her friends lived fulfilling lives with their families, Amina found herself growing increasingly bitter. Men who once admired her beauty now began to lose interest, seeing her arrogance and pride as a turn-off. But Amina refused to change. "They don't know what they are missing," she'd say to herself, still holding out hope for the ideal partner. At 32, her friends were enjoying their families, their homes filled with laughter and joy. They would often visit Amina, who lived in her family's luxurious home, surrounded by expensive clothes and fine jewelry. "Amina, don't you think it's time to stop waiting for someone to come and sweep you off your feet?" Zainab asked one day, a concerned look on her face. "You're getting older, Amina. A good man won't wait forever," Fatima added gently. Amina was unfazed. "I'm not in a hurry. I know what I deserve," she replied haughtily. By the time Amina was 38, the men who had once been interested in her had long moved on, and the young ones who now sought her attention were not the type of man she had once dreamed of. They were often playful, casual, or only interested in fleeting relationships. Amina realized, too late, that the world had changed around her. The opportunities she had once taken for granted had slipped away. One evening, as Amina sat alone in her elegant home, the reality of her situation began to set in. Her beauty had not protected her from the inevitable march of time. Her friends were now raising children, nurturing families, and living lives full of love and purpose, while she remained alone, surrounded by the trappings of wealth that no longer seemed to matter. Amina decided it was time to get serious. She attempted to approach men again, hoping to find someone with whom she could build a life. But the years of arrogance and pride had left her with little more than empty encounters. The men she met now saw her as a woman with high expectations, but little to offer beyond her looks. They played with her, taking advantage of her loneliness and pride, but never offering anything substantial in return. Amina's heart broke again and again, but she refused to admit the depth of her mistakes. At 40, the years of waiting, insulting, and pushing men away had left her with nothing but regret. One day, after yet another failed attempt at a relationship, she sat in her living room, tears streaming down her face. She had no one left but herself to blame. In that moment, Amina realized the lesson that had eluded her for so long. Love is not something you wait for passively, it is something you build, nurture, and give to others. Her pride had isolated her, and now, the loneliness was unbearable. Determined to change her life, Amina made a bold decision. She would not wait any longer for a man to fulfill her. Instead, she would find love in a different way, by opening her heart to a child. Amina adopted a young girl, a bright-eyed orphan who had been left without family. The child brought a new light into Amina's life. She found herself caring for another, guiding her through life, and experiencing the joy of motherhood.